Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Let me just jump in and say before I start, trigger warning. If you're really sensitive to nature and life, keep moving. This is not the vlog for you, so be warned. One of my subscribers, Joanne, she messaged me and said, I don't see any insect damage on your plants. Do you spray them? This vlog is basically answering that question. Yes, we have a lot of insects and they tend to damage my plants, especially my food crop during the growing season. But no, I don't spray. I don't like pesticides on my plants. I don't think it's healthy for us. What we do is we go through the garden every day and try to remove the butterfly eggs. We try to cover the plants with nets, and the most problem we have is with snails. And I know this is a horrible thing to see for somebody that has a soft heart, but I had no choice. I didn't want to put on poison. I just wanted to do this in a natural way. But this vlog is about how I protect my plants from snails, because we have an incredible amount of snails. Before we did this, we went out in the garden every evening around 10-11 o'clock, and we literally picked the snails out of the garden with our hands. But that's not something we could keep doing every night. There were, I swear, every night 50 snails. So this is the method that we now apply to getting rid of the snails in our yard, because they do the most damage. So let me show you what we do. Let's go. What we do is we cut little cups like this in half, and we bury them in a hole in between the plants. As you can see, look at this cabbage. Hang on, hon. Look at this cabbage, how they eat the cabbage through the night. So there is the little cup in the ground, and then my husband takes a can of beer. Any type of beer will do, and you throw a little beer in the hole. And for some reason they love this beer. They gravitate towards it. They go into the little cups and they never come out again. So in the morning we go ahead and empty all the cups and throw all the little snails that we caught. There they are. All the little snails that we caught in the cups, we throw them in a bucket, and we reset the traps between all of our plants. So he's off to get another trap. This one we put close to the hostas, because I said in another vlog, we thought that snails couldn't climb up the pots, but they are definitely climbing up the pots. So by the hostas, because they think hostas are an amazing thing to eat, we put a bigger trap. And we just go all around the garden and empty the traps and refill them. So here between my beans, my stem beans, you can see this stem bean is almost gone because of the snails. So we have a little trap here. We caught some last night. Look at this stem bean. Sometimes it works and sometimes they just devastate my plants. They live in the dirt and they put their eggs in the dirt. So at night when it's wet and moist, they simply come up, especially the naked snails, and they just devour your plants. So like I say, it's not the nicest thing to talk about. It's not the nicest thing to do. It is a cruel way, but at the end of the day, we pay a lot of money for our plants, and we spend a lot of time growing and taking care of our plants, and you really don't want them to be eaten. It's not like you're growing food to feed the snails. That's not why we grow food. We grow food to feed ourselves. I still have to every day look if I see some snails on the plants. As you can see, here's Another big hole. All my pumpkin plants, they love eating my pumpkin plants. There's some things that you miss. For example, the white butterflies, they would lay their eggs on my brassicas, and then you get little worms that you can pick off. Let's see, what's this? You can easily see the little worms through the day and pick them off. But the snails, they come out at night and they do serious damage. See, my hubby is going all through the yard and emptying the snail traps and resetting them. What I will say though, as cruel as this is, like I was saying, sorry, I had to get inside. Like I was saying, we got a really good tip from a neighbor of ours, another gardener that suffers as well with the snails. I don't know what they're called in English. I'll leave the name here, but there is a kind of snail eel that you can buy, and you put them in the water, the eggs of this eel in the water, and you water all your plants through the garden with it. And when these eels hatch, they are a natural fighter against the snails. So they penetrate the body of the snails and then they kill them, eat them. They also eat the snail eggs. So the snails and the eels remain a balance in your garden. So they fight the snails fight back, but there's a balance that remains in your garden. No, not a balance, but the eels are more in control of the garden than your snails, and the eels do not eat your plants. We're about to order some of these eels. They're available again in August. People put them in their garden in August, and people put them in their garden in beginning of spring. So that's what we're going to be using in the near future. A more natural, humane way to deal with these snails, because guys, they're awful. So yeah guys, that's it. This is our catch of last night. Super gross, and we set the traps again for today. Hopefully we keep catching these snails until we're able to buy those little eels to do it in a more natural way. That's how we fight bugs in the yard at this moment. And I know it's not pretty. I did trigger warning in the beginning, but you have to, or all your plants will be eaten down to the root. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again in my next vlog. And thanks for the question, Joanna. Cheers.